So to be clear, I was born in prison. America is my prison. I was kidnapped, brought here against my will, forced to work for free for almost 500 years now. So the prison and justice system are challenging the prison industrial complex. Is a matter of life and death. Because the American government is killing our people. We always hear on the news, Syria, the Syrian government is killing its people. The American government kills its people wantonly. The Interior Army wears blue. We call them the police, and for some reason, we don't relate police with government. The police are the internal army of the United States government.
That's right.
The prison industrial system is the concentration camps of America. See, they learned the lessons. They copied the Germans. And when they copied the Germans, they visited that horror upon me. See, I'm a victim of the system of America, and the prison industrial complex, what it does is it marries the old world with the new world. Remember, they told you slavery was abolished except when one is duly convicted of a crime.
That's correct.
And so, in the early days of the 60s, when America's assassination policy was over, meaning that it wasn't hidden, any black man, Malcolm, Shabazz, or Martin Luther King, or even a man that's very important to me that you all might not have ever heard of, whose name was Allah, were all assassinated publicly. Medgar Evers assassinated. Martin King had his head blown off, okay? So, and what happened was that the complex had to be developed, because when you put people in a prison, much like the Palestinian people are kept in an open air prison by Israel with the help of America, because this is the relation, because the prison industrial complex has been internationalized, because America is best at the prison. Because she's had our people here for almost 500 years and created systems that the people, through tax dollars, and shame on the people, have supported. The people, through their own tax dollars, have supported the maiming, murder, inhumane treatment, and things that go against the Geneva Conference to happen in our prisons every day. And the reason why they get away with it is because they said that these poor communities, these people in the communities committed crimes. So everything is interrelated. So when they take and they export all the jobs, there's no jobs in the community, then conditions requiring independent means of economics are then created. If you look, the first word of conditions requiring independent means of economics is an acronym that spells crime. So when there's no jobs, people going to get it how they live. Which means that people are going to become either entrepreneurs, or they're going to find some way to feed their children. So what happens is, when you live in a red line district, or you live in the ghettos of America, and they take all the jobs out, they're creating the conditions whereby the internal army can now hunt you on the street, because they said you live in an area that is high crime, therefore you are suspicious. Now, like I said, now this is the system. We're talking about a system. The interrelated, it's a multi-tentacled, interrelated system that we support with our tax dollars, even though we might come to meetings and talk about what we're going to do to stop it. I heard the brother said if we want to stop something, we got to do with the economics. But I want to tell you something that probably you guys don't know about. And that is that for a group of us who felt like we were born in prison here in America, we rejected a lot of the things that America gave us. So being that I am a child of a slave, and in my dream state of hypnosis, my ancestors come to me and they describe to me how they were boiled in oil and castrated, and so I can't accept a God that looks like my enslaver. At this point, my rejection of that now separates me from the system, because part of the system is the religion that they gave you that made you love the guy who enslaved you. It made you love the guy who brought you here against your will. Because when you look at the picture of the blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy, and you say, I love Jesus, then you're loving the guy who kind of like, no, not kind of like, he looks just like your oppressor. So, kind of like internally, you've already become self-oppressed. And at the end of the day, the fact that within the prison industrial complex, you see a lot of melanated people, a lot of black people, it only goes to show you that black and brown people all over the planet are being used and abused, and the prison industrialization complex is a way where we can be concentrated in one place, denied all our humanity, and be used and abused, and with the support of the public. At the end of the day, my National Office of Cultural Affairs was founded by me and my co-founder. His name is Powerful Ruling Nation of Law. He is no longer with us. In 1984, he received a 25 to life sentence. He was sent to Clinton, Attica, Comstock, every low-down, dirty prison in New York State. And after 27 years, they released him. But to show you the industrial complex, he was in prison for 27 years working for free and contracted mesothelioma. So 2 years after he came home, he died because it ate up his lung. And so the anger and the need to create change, because we're all change agents if we in fact take the things that we talk about and get a plan of action so that we can do something about it. My National Office of Cultural Affairs is co-founded by myself. I don't have the support of any group or organizations outside of what I co-founded. But when I get on the phone and I call Anthony Annucci, who used to be the head counsel of the New York State Department of Correction, he's going to talk to me. They said, oh, that's, how are you doing, sir? And you want to know why? It's because we took a proactive approach to our liberation as far as we could, because I represent the nation of gods and earths. And the unique thing about us is this, and I know you people probably did not know it, is that right now, within prison, we are being put into isolation. Like my brother Understanding Self has been in the room for 18 years. And they said he can't come out the room until he says that Allah is not God. So in other words, they are now trying to, it's almost like George Orwell's The Thought Police. But these are experiments that take place inside of the prison industrial complex so that they can then translate it out into general society. Right. So when you talk about medical apartheid, or you talk about how our political prisoners are being denied medical access, that is because it's the same thing out here in our poor communities. If you look at what Baltimore said, they only had one source where they could go get drugs for grandma. That one CVS in that poor, run-down community. And I know I don't got no time, but I just want to complete my thought, because at the end of the day, the work that I'm doing, right, I do it nationally. In 2003, federal court downtown, we brought the New York State Department of Corrections on trial. Anthony Annucci was the head counsel. It was the case of Maria versus Broadus, because Broadus was the commissioner at that time. And for the first time, the nation of gods and earths, commonly known as the 5%, were able to get our day in court. Because at the end of the day, they control the system that they created. However, if you know how to maneuver, we came with a 1983, and we filed it, and then when we filed it, we got past all of their motions to dismiss and summary judgment, and we got our trial in downtown New York City. We won our case, but through the court of public opinion. And this is where I get ashamed of my people. The New York Daily News and all of the papers told the judge that she did a criminal act. How dare you allow a black supremacist group to have freedom of thought even within prison? Now, the reason why they called me a black supremacist group is because I rejected the religion of my enslavers. It is my right. You can't tell me how to love and honor God. I love and honor God free from religion. And that's my right. I'm an indigenous person on this planet. I don't need no man-made religion. So don't miss me with that. But here goes the dangerous part of what's going on in the 21st century. What's going on right now is the radicalization. Yeah, and I'm going to shut up. The radicalization of the prisoner. Right now, they're trying to tell you that if you subscribe to Islam, then your potential to be called a terrorist is now up 100%. That's right. Because they've labeled anything Islam terrorist. So right now, you have to be very careful, even what you say in social media. Because you got to understand, even in this meeting, there are agents of the government here watching and listening and reporting. Because that's their job, is to come amongst us and act like they are us, so that they can give the government, well, you know what, those guys, they're just talking. Or there's some relevant information being shared that we really need to, you know, tighten up. I'm telling you, this is not a game, this is not a joke. America is my prison. But I'm talking about today, the prison and justice system and challenging the prison industrial complex.
That case was about the 5%ers,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Marion versus Brothers.
Right, thank you.
Now we'd like to open up the floor for